Hanley is going to present the 280th Pigeon Company 26-29th WAC.
Hello, how is everybody today?
Good.
Enjoying your day? Hi, my name is Tammy Hanley, and I portray a WAC, which was the Women's Army Corps, a member of the 26th, 29th. We were stationed in Italy, and the impression that I portray is a pigeon trainer attached to the 26th, 29th, actually of the 280th Signal Pigeon Company, which was also stationed in Italy. What I have here is a signal pigeon. Now pigeons, you think, you see them flying around, a lot of people think city rat, gutter eagle. They're actually very intelligent animals, and they were a big part of the war effort. The Allies used them, the Axis used them, every country in the war used pigeons for communication. The Allies, we trained 56,000 pigeons, 32,000 of them saw actual combat duty. Now, the uniform that I'm wearing along with my friend Mocker here is a reproduction of the WAC HBTs, and they differ from the men's HBTs because my pockets are in the front, the men's were in the back, and we women have more curves than the men do, at least hopefully. So they were more tailored, they're not as loose and baggy. And my little friend here, his name is Mocker, and he is wearing what was called the pigeon bra. It was nicknamed that by the paratroopers. Gotta understand their sense of humor. Because it was actually produced by the Maidenform Brassiere Company in 1942. My bird, his name is Mocker, and what Mocker is wearing was nicknamed the pigeon bra. It was designed by the Maidenform Brassiere Company in 1942, and it was issued to paratroopers and to OSS agents, and we all know the sense of humor that paratroopers have. That's how it was named, the pigeon bra. And when you had a bird in its harness, you could jump and still be able to control all of your equipment and have a way to send a message when you got to your destination. And birds were issued like this to paratroopers and to OSS agents, so when they jumped, they had a way to send a message back. Pigeon messaging was 98% successful. There were losses, but overall, they were one of the most reliable ways to send a message. Now, if you needed to send a message with a pigeon, what you would do is, you were issued a message book. The forms, of course, are in triplicate. You never can do anything just once for the Army. What you do, you write out all the information, you tear the top copy off. You have to fold it really, really small because it has to fit inside this. This is the leg capsule that snaps on the pigeon's leg. And what Mocker is also wearing on his leg here is the actual message capsule. It's a small plastic device that unscrews. You fold your message up really tiny, put it in here, and it is snapped to his leg. And then when he is released, he will fly back to Allied camp, where we can get him from the loft, open up the capsule, interpret what was on the message, and then take appropriate action as necessary. Now, if you needed to send a map overlay, let's say you were sent out on a mission and you were told, we think the Germans are over there, we need a map. You would be issued this book of tissue overlays, and it says right on it, map overlay via pigeons. So this was special equipment just for the pigeon service. You would sketch everything on this and then fold it up really tiny again and either put it in the leg capsule or the saddlebag. During World War II, the Allies used 56,000 pigeons, and actually 32,000 of them saw actual combat. Every force in the conflict used pigeons. It didn't matter if it was the Germans, the Italians, even the Russians used them on the Eastern Front. The Germans also used pigeons, and there was a whole division of British intelligence called MI6 that basically went, they captured some German pigeons, copied their equipment, and sending false messages back across to Germany. Now, I don't say the Germans didn't do that with ours, it was a give and take there. And the Germans were so concerned about Allied pigeon message that they had a unit of trained falconers stationed on the coast of France with peregrine falcons to try to take out our pigeons coming back from France back to the British mainland. Every vessel that left the British mainland, be it a boat, even a submarine, seaplanes, everyone had 2 pigeons along with them for the trip. But the Germans were so concerned about us using message pigeons that Goering had a unit of trained peregrine falconers stationed on the coast of France to try to catch our pigeons going across the channel. The Germans also were so concerned in the Netherlands about pigeons being used by civilians and by the underground that when they took over those countries, they made everybody that had a pigeon loft register it with the German army. And if you didn't register your loft, or if they caught you with either too less birds, too many birds, not the birds that you registered, you were immediately shot as a spy. And there was a very famous pigeon by the name of Winky that was sent out on a Lancaster flying boat. The boat crashed off the coast of Scotland, and Winky got loose from his container after being immersed in seawater and engine oil and other assorted gunk. And he flew as far as he could. When he reached land, he ended up walking back to base camp, where they were able to triangulate from the last known position of the boat to the time it would take him to get back, and they were able to rescue the crew. And for that, Winky won the Dickon Medal, which is like the Congressional Medal of Honor for Animals. It was issued by the British, and it was issued 56 times. 32 of those times was awarded to pigeons. Okay, there was one famous bird, and it was the only U.S. bird to win a medal. There's a medal for animals that was awarded by the British. It's called the Dickon Medal. It's like the Congressional Medal of Honor for Animals. And our pigeon, G.I. Joe, won it. G.I. Joe was born and raised by the U.S. Signal Corps in Italy, and he was loaned for the day for the mission to the British 56th Brigade. They were told to go take the town of Covia Vecchia in Italy. Well, they expected heavy German resistance because the Germans didn't want to give it up. We wanted to take it. So they went in to take it. Well, when they got there, they found that the Germans had run away like scared little girls, and there was no resistance. So they got on their radio. Now, radio was pretty early at that time. It wasn't very reliable. It wasn't like they could reach in their pocket and pull out their iPhone. You know, they had to rely on radios that had crystals. Well, some smart person put the wrong crystals in the radio, and the radio didn't work. And they knew they had to get a message back to headquarters, because any time the U.S. was going to come overhead and bomb the town to kind of soften up the German resistance. But our planes didn't know that our allies, the British, had already taken the town. So all they had was G.I. Joe. They attached the message to G.I. Joe and sent him on his way. He flew 20 miles in 20 minutes. He landed at the airfield just as the planes were taxiing and getting ready to take off. They were able to call off the mission, and for that, G.I. Joe won the Dickon Medal. And after the war, in '46, they hired a plane just for him and his trainers, and they flew him back to London, where the Mayor of London awarded him his medal. And I do believe that his medal is on display at the Smithsonian. So the next time that you see a pigeon, remember, they're feathered heroes, not feathered rats. The pigeons were a very, very important part of the war effort. So the next time you see a pigeon, feathered hero, not feathered rat. So, pigeons are important. Pigeons need love too.
Thank you very much for attending.